Hello and welcome back to the channel. No, okay. I just want to share with you what happened last night. So for the past little while, I've been working on a couple designs. One is the Psycho, and the other is the Ballerina. The problem with these drones that I've been working on is I have to make the top plate, I have to figure out everything else, and then last night I was just like, you know what? I really enjoyed flying the Crux 35 like this. So I made this kind of like a little kit where you put in 15mm standoffs, a 3D printed device for the camera, and then it flew like a dream. It's actually like the most fun I've had flying anything. My favorite drone is the Patch Ray because it's stronger, but this is just, it flew so well. So then I'm thinking, instead of worrying about building like this whole drone, why don't I just build a better bottom plate for the Crux? And then I started thinking about things as I was building it, and then I came up with what I call the Great Discus. And it's not done yet, but I have the idea, and it's beautiful. So basically, the mounting holes are is this the back? No, this is the front. Okay, so, ooh, no! What have I done? Okay, so let's flip it over, and yeah, this is the front. We're gonna redo this just to change a few things, but I wanted to share with you this glorious invention. I think that this is going to be like a wonderful thing for people that like micro drones and just being able to have so many options. So first of all, you're going to be able to just basically take this frame and buy a Crux 35. So if you buy a Crux 35, you can basically get the shorter standoffs, print off my 3D printed file, and then use this frame, and at the top plate from the Crux 35 will mount into these two holes with these two holes. So these four holes will line up exactly with the Crux 35, so you can use this as a stronger base plate. Then another thing that's kind of drove me nuts with building drones is that the motor holes, if you make the motor holes for the smaller motors and the larger motors, the holes end up being long and like they end up being a little bit like easier to break on the frame. So what I did was 3 mounting holes for the smaller motors right here, 1, 2, 3. But then these 3 other holes are for larger motors. So you could mount either motor. It's just if you do go with the larger motor, it'll be pointing down a little bit, so you'd have to route the motor wires, but it's at least an option, because this is more meant for like 1404 smaller motors. But if you wanted the bigger ones, you could put them on, and they will be on well. And then the distance here is just about the same size as one of the larger motor stators. And then I'm planning to make some 3D printed TPU that you can like stick around the edges to make it more fun. Then here we have this hole right here, which allows you to take the Crux 35 all-in-one. You'd have to desolder you'd solder the motors on directly, which you'd want to do anyways, but the 20x20 stack will fit in, and that hole will allow the plug access from underneath. You can also put in a 25.5 whoop board by going this way. So diagonally, you can put the 25.5 whoop board. And then if you wanted to get one of those, the popular SpeedEB or whatever, if you want to put the 30 stack, the 30 stack will fit in these holes also. And none of these holes are like screwing up the integrity of the frame. And the frame is nice and round, because I think that round is strong, even though lots of people like to go with the triangles and stuff. I think that a circle will take better impact and like spread everything nicer. So now that I kind of finished it, well, I finished it last night, and I didn't really know how to make these holes inside, but I like geometric shapes and stuff, but it's still it's not exactly how I want it yet. because when I looked at it, I realized that I didn't want to make this any more wider than I had to, and I wanted to basically take as little space away from the propellers as possible, so that the propellers wouldn't be like overlapping the frame. But now, because I see this hole and this hole are the outermost, so I'm going to figure out so I'm going to basically scrap all these other holes in the middle and totally redesign it to make it so that these two outer holes have just enough protection that it's like nice, safe, beefy, that don't feel like it's going to crack. So maybe come out like half the distance that it does, and then I'm going to reroute these. So I'll get rid of these holes, and then I'm going to take these, come in tighter, because I want it to be basically as tight as possible. And then with this, it's nice and round. And the distance from here to here is going to be enough space that you can put the battery on top. There's also these holes so that if you wanted to, you'd be able to strap the battery underneath as well. And also you could be on the, once I do later design a top plate for it, I'm going to make it so that you can toilet tank the battery on top, or you can do it normally. But if you toilet tank it, it'll be better for being able to put on an action cam. And then also, if you are just kind of doing your own thing, you can get more standoffs, and you could use the other holes. You can use whatever holes you're not using for your, like if you use a 20x20, then you can add more standoffs and make some sort of, you know, different thing yourself. This frame will just be so cool because you'll be able to use it with basically any components, and you'll be able to build on top of it or underneath it however you want. I just think it'll be really fun. So that's my take on a little micro frame, and we're not done yet, so subscribe and you'll be able to see the rest of this come into fruition. Thanks for joining me along this journey, and share with me your thoughts. Do you think it's a good idea? Do you like it? Are you gonna get one? As soon as it's ready, I'm gonna be sending it over to CNC Madness, and you'll be able to order it there. So yeah, like, subscribe, smash the bell notification. Love you long time.